If you get involved with somebody's life, especially at their weakest, it's not a Band-Aid. You prepare yourself for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? Prepare yourself to, just because they may not get it this year, you know what I'm saying? There is another year. Like Pastor said, did he give up on you, brother? Brother, am I giving up on you? And how can you argue with that?
Mosaic is about demonstrating the power of Jesus Christ to unite people together across any dividing line, and to transform entire communities through the least of these. For years, I blamed my addiction on all kinds of different stuff. And it was through that period that God was beginning to show me that the problem wasn't out here, it was in here. And that I needed rescued, that I was a broken sinner, and I had no excuse, but his son had come and died for me. I would just get a little bit of time clean, relapse, they put me in jail, back through treatment. They did that a bunch of times until finally they'd had enough. And I stood before the judge, and he said, "Mr. Keisel, you've exhausted every form of treatment we have to offer, all to no avail." He said, "You are a hopeless case. To protect society from you and you from yourself, all we have left is a lengthy prison sentence." When the Lord saved me, and I was out of prison and in Teen Challenge, I told the Lord, like you should ever tell the Lord anything, right? I told the Lord, "I'll go anywhere you want me to go." I'm convinced I was going to be dead by 25, so this is your time. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll be a missionary in the slums of Africa. I'll clean the bathroom in a church and just be a church member. But what I won't do is youth ministry. Interestingly, he calls me to plant a church in Jeannette and convinces me the way to do that is through the kids. They are the ones that are going to advance the kingdom in this community for generations to come. So Jeannette was built around the glass industry. It had 4 factories that at one point they estimate were producing upwards of 80% of the world's glass was coming out of Jeannette. In fact, the city was named after the wife of one of the factory owners, Jeannette McKee. But when overseas competition drove the glass industry out of business, it collapsed the economy. There are places in Jeannette, like West Jeannette, where we're standing right now, that has a poverty rate of 34%. 1 in 3 are living at or below the poverty line. And there are many in the city who believe the answer is to recover the glory days of Jeannette, but we really believe that we need to look forward rather than looking back. Our vision is to be a cross-cultural church, growing in community together with a heart for God and a heart for Jeannette that includes the poor and stands for justice and mercy. We formed a separate from the church community development center to really invest in education, workforce development, character and life skills through sports and arts to really equip them and empower them with their gifts and talents and abilities to be those leaders that we all know they can be. Many don't think that they're going to be much of anything, but we see in them tremendous potential that is just untapped, and we want to support them in any way we can to be those leaders.
I'm saying, like, you know, a few years ago, my nephew, he got 2 years, he got shot on right here on collar, and I always ask the young boys, you know, why don't you want to fight? And they say, because I'm not getting embarrassed. So I figured I'd open a boxing gym so they could never use that excuse anymore to say they don't want to get embarrassed, so they stop shooting and will learn how to fight. Because back in the day, we used to fight and come back another day. You know what I'm saying? Sure. But yeah, but that's basically why Pastor Nate and I We opened a gym because my nephew got killed 2 years ago, right there. Shot 6 times. You know? Time in. It's the only sport you're in there one-on-one. Because no one can help you. You know what I mean? I'm do pad work. With them. You can go through a whole lifetime of emotions within a month. Don't punch it. Give me a hook right here. Give me another hook. You know what I'm saying? You can be happy, you can be sad, you can be hurt. You can want to quit. You gotta have strength to come back. 2. After that. Good work.
Pastor. What's up, boy?
Hey, brother. How are you? I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing all right, man. I love you, boy.
I love you too.
Good? Right.
And you were like, you want to come to my house? And I was like, yeah. And so I came over and I sat down.
Right.
And
that was probably the most touching moment for real in my life, really, we can keep it, candid, but to have a white guy of your prestige, man, to actually just want to take time with me, you know what I mean? So, that was probably the best move that ever happened to me, man.
And then I shared my story with you.
I was shocked. Yeah, right.
Show you I would know different.
Right. But I'll never forget that day. That day was pretty much the opening grounds for me to really just focus and, really honestly get a chance to know God for real.
He'd lived a life of a gangster, drug selling, gun running, stuff like that. And, had spent some significant time in prison due to that and was on parole, was finding
probation. Probation
at the time, having a hard time getting a job because there's no job opportunities around here. And he also had a record, and, to be candid, a black man with a record, he was stuck between, like, pay my rent, pay my fines, or go back to jail. And if I can't find a job, then I gotta sell drugs. And he didn't want to do that, no more. And so, in line with our, goal of moving people from need to development, we just didn't want to meet Larry's needs. I sat down with him, like, Larry, you can work? He was like, yeah, you want to work? Yeah. They thought it was Larry's cooking because the people would call in for catering and they'd ask if the black guy. Yeah, the black guy can cook it, right? He was the only black dude working there, right?
The black guy, I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Pretty much still is, but
So they said they wanted to.
It's never been, just keep the faith and pray and let them be. It's at the end of it, we got you. We're not gonna let you go, brother. You don't have to think like that. You don't, just pray, walk with the Lord. Anything that this man can say or do to keep me going right. And that's not just me. That's anybody here at this church or here out there in the street that come in his path. Do you understand what I'm saying? For me to know somebody like him and that loves me, man, I'm good. I got a job. This man helped me or led me. Jesus. Okay.
You worked hard, brother.
But thanks, Pastor. But he never gave up on me. I'm in the market of owning a house. I'm voting now. You know what I mean? I'm not scared to talk to or actually, you know what I'm saying, stand up to the police now because I don't have anything to hide. You feel what I'm saying? I got respect.
You're in management?
I love you, Pastor. I really, really do, Pastor. And like I told you, man, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I'd die for you, man. You know I would, man. I'm not Jesus. And it ain't many of them. I keep it real. I ain't dying for any and every now. But you my man. For real, Pastor. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you have done. And that you're still doing.
You gotta thank Jesus, because if it weren't for him, I'd have been dead years ago.
I get it, yeah. I get it, yeah. After which, yeah. That's amazing, man.